I thought that's all they were too. I was like, half of them got it.
All right, I've got 10 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the
Maybe
meeting.
it's for each and place them in the picture and they'll look like it's supposed to be.
Our president, we thank you so much for being very good. I thank you for living in a country and a county where we can come to you and worship as we choose. I ask that you be with this nation and its leaders. There's so much hate and discontent in this world right now. I ask that you show your grace to everyone. Forgive some of your sins and shortcomings.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
At this time, any person with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action will be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. No? Okay. Court to discuss and consider inter-precinct project scheduling staffing. Anything we need to be aware of? Anything y'all need to discuss?
We're trying to avoid all your roads and they already above us, so.
All cooperation.
Gotta be careful, you got 6 manufacturers in one precinct, so you might want to watch out.
Which precinct?
Don't mind that, we're in precincts.
Okay. All right, court to consider adopting a resolution on the 2022 Indigent Defense Program. I think we're getting a little more this year, aren't we, Angela? A little, something like 36?
Well, I haven't got the final numbers yet actually, but yeah, we are supposed to be getting more than normal. Last year, I think we got maybe a year before, like 17.5 and last year 22,000. So it's looking around 30 and maybe a little bit more than that. It's still
Creeping up a little bit.
a little bit at a time. Doesn't even really make a dent in what we pay, but it's helpful.
Better than nothing.
Yes.
Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution on the 2022 Indigent Defense Grant Program.
Second.
All in favor? Court to consider memorandum of understanding with Abilene Recovery Council. This is just, we do it every year. I've had it. Don't know that there's really any changes to it. So. It's for residential treatment placement.
Just like the one we're already doing.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll make a motion to, we can do that, adopt the, memorandum of understanding with Abilene Recovery Council.
Sounds like.
Good.
Now, second.
All in favor? Court to consider proclaiming week of October 4th through 10th, 2021 as National 4-H Week. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the courthouse is green in honor of 4-H. So when you come by in the evenings, you'll see the lights on the side of the building. They're all green. So it'll be that way for the rest of the week. So, I understand 4-H has some things they want to do before we adopt this proclamation. So. Y'all are singing, right?
Sparks are interests or passions that light a fire in a person's life. Spark expresses the core of who a person is and how they want to engage with the world around them. 4-H is a youth organization that helps youth to discover and cultivate their sparks and fan them into flames that burn bright and warm. The special thing about our 4-H program is that when you combine adults working with our youth by providing encouragement and support, those tiny sparks ignite into something incredible. It's almost like magic. This week, Scurry County 4-H is celebrating National 4-H Week. This year's theme is Find Your Spark with 4-H. In honor of 4-H Week, we want to explore a few of the many projects available that youth can find their spark and ignite a new world of possibilities.
Many youth don't know the basic cooking and nutrition skills. This year, I'll be starting my 8th year in our food and nutrition project, and it is by far my favorite. I love competing in the food show and food challenge contest, and this is actually the first project that I participated in when I joined 4-H. So this project is kind of the spark that ignited my whole 4-H career. I've always loved cooking. I've been in the kitchen with my parents since I was old enough to do so safely, but 4-H has really allowed that to grow into something more than I could ever have imagined it being, because now I'm able to identify proper nutrition and food safety skills and way more about food than I ever thought possible.
Growing up on our family farm, we have also had lambs. So the 4-H sheep project was a perfect fit for me. I like the project because I work hard with my brother, my mom, and my dad to train my lambs for livestock shows, but that's not all. We also have our own herd of lambs, so I'm continuing to learn about the genetics and milk.
Science and technology have always been my passion. This 4-H STEM project has taken my interest to a whole new level. With the STEM project, it given me leadership experience I did not expect to gain from the project. With starting our county's own STEM project, which we didn't have one before I came back to our county with the things I learned as a state STEM ambassador. By serving as a state STEM ambassador, I've been able to help lead the 4-H STEM meetings and work with the STEM ambassador team to run all the technology for the whole week at 4-H Roundup.
4-H has many livestock projects available for youth. Personally, the goat project has lit a spark for me that has taught me so much more than just the show industry. When I first joined 4-H, I began the goat project by showing goats at livestock shows, but I had no idea it would lead me into a whole nother realm of possibilities with learning breeding, genetics, and vet science. It has allowed me to learn so much that will help me in my future as I go into the vet science field.
Do you like hunting or maybe shooting sporting clays? Then the shotgun project may be for you. 4-H has ignited a spark for me through this project and has taught me respect for firearms, gun safety, mental discipline, and a high level of responsibility. A goal I have for this project is to become D2 4-H shooting sports ambassador. We have a lot of fun out there at the range, shooting day in and day out, working hard to get where we are today.
From the time I was little, my mom installed an interest for sewing. The Clothing and Textiles Project has continued to stir the flames of my sewing interests, and I have gone from learning basic sewing skills to being able to independently construct an item without instructions.
Do you like taking pictures? Well, so do I. The 4-H photography project has sparked my interest in learning how to operate a camera without taking pictures on a manual method. I'm learning how to consider shutter speeds and lighting to the best quality pictures. One of my favorite parts of photography is teaching my subjects that I love to take pictures. In the 4-H club, I've learned so much about how to take these pictures in my creative fun way.
Do you have a green thumb, or maybe you don't but would like to have one? Gardening and horticulture is a project that might spark your interest. I've enjoyed this at-home project and learned so much from my parents through planting, watering, weeding, and harvesting our family garden. Because of this project, I was recently selected as a North Region Habitat Pollinator Youth Ambassador.
From the time I could walk, I've had an interest in cattle. However, when I first joined 4-H, I had no clue the 4-H beef project would create a spark that would light a fire so big. What started out as showing my first set of steers turned to a love for Brahman cattle, to purchasing half interest in the Brahman heifer, to growing a small herd. To help fund my project, I'm also using my cooking skills to operate a small business, Kelton's Bread and Brahman, to raise funds to finance my cattle purchases. I'm currently exploring different careers in the cattle industry following graduation.
As you can see, there is a world of opportunity in 4-H that can light a spark in youth. We have all personally grown through our 4-H experiences, and we want to encourage the youth of our community to explore our 4-H program by planting your feet in 4-H so you can watch yourself grow. You really have no idea where it can take you, and you won't regret the journey. I know that I speak for all of us when I say that we have all grown exponentially through this program, and not only in ways that will benefit us in the future, but also in the people that we meet.
On behalf of the Scurry County 4-H members, we want to express our appreciation to Judge Hicks and our commissioners for your support of our program.
And we have a little short video to show you off the 4-H. There's no sound, so it's just.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
There you go.
Those photos up there are pictures that the kids have taken, so we just displayed their artwork.
I'm gonna put you on the spot just a little bit.
Okay.
You may not know the answer to the first part. How many programs did 4-H start with? And how many programs does 4-H have now? Is there anything y'all don't do at this point?
I don't know how many they started with. Well, it started with gardening. It started with teaching
The tomato club.
the tomato club.
Yeah.
And so that's how it all started. So I guess it started with one.
Okay.
And now, it's endless possibilities, because it doesn't have to be an organized project for kids to participate. So like y'all saw gardening and horticulture, that's more an independent project, and small business, and that's an independent project. So 20 plus, Greg? Janine?
Well, once upon a time, there was a dog project.
Yeah.
A dog, like training your dog.
Nice.
We still have it.
We still have it, it's just the different counties offer different projects according to volunteers.
So it's whatever your imagination can come
It
up
is to
with,
your
basically.
imagination, it's
Um,
limitless.
One of our leaders in Lubbock said that any project can be a 4-H project because you can do self-directed. Addie does a lot of self-directed that we do as a family. That's one thing about 4-H that people don't realize. It's a family.
Yeah.
Because your family is what works.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I said earlier, we have all learned a lot and grow closer to each other, but I can say that my family as a whole has grown closer to each other and closer to the other families in our 4-H projects. And they've learned a lot, well, I've learned a lot through our program. So that's been cool.
And we've learned from in our district. I mean, one of our family favorite meals now is from a lady in Lamb County. She did an Instapot on YouTube, and it's called Smackaroni, and Addie makes it all the time. Because it's a 6-minute, I mean, you cook it and you set it for 6 minutes and it's done. You don't hardly have time to put a salad together. So.
Well, I did see a best of show banana nut bread up there.
We
may-
bring you
may
a loaf.
have to make that some. Share.
Right?
No, we did pumpkin.
I didn't have any. I didn't have any ripe bananas.
Well, we just appreciate y'all's support of our 4-H program, because without your support, we would not be here, and we reach a lot of youth in our community. And y'all can see hopefully y'all can see from what they said, what it means, the program means to them and how it's impacted these kids. And most of these kids have grown up in the program. Our older ones, started in 3rd grade, if not Clover kids. So we just appreciate your support of our kids and our youth and what they're doing.
Y'all have really done a good job with it too.
Thank you. We have a strong this is not all of our volunteers. This is just a small portion of our volunteers, but we can't do the program without our volunteers. They're a huge part of what we can do, because Greg and I cannot do this alone. So we just have a huge outpouring of volunteers in the community and parents. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you all being here and proud for each of you, really, because your diversity, not every, I don't think I've heard a duplicate in favorite interests. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we proclaim the week of October the 4th through the 10th, 2021 is National 4-H Week.
All in favor?
Judge, can I get a picture?
Absolutely.
Say that or I'm down.
I would be here.
Sorry, just take
You
one.
want to do it here?
Yeah, there is.
Take a picture with it.
I'll just keep looking.
Yeah. We've got to we're using all the.
Sorry.
After all that, I haven't been in there.
Oh,
For the kids to practice,
Greg?
finding a place to practice.
Run it.
All I'm talking.
Goodness sakes. I was food. I'm hungry. Big birthday.
You want to come back here?
You know, because we got kind of this because we were doing it, I think.
Thank you guys so
Mark
much.
Anthony, and now we're on the move, so every single. The problem.
Thank y'all. Y'all have to go to school now, don't you?
I'm out for a little bit.
Yeah. Thank y'all for
Oh, we're leaving.
You're leaving.
Oh.
Rhonda, what is this event called tonight? I don't remember. I just know beer.
It's a National 4-H Week celebration and recognition of the kids.
Okay, that's right, 6:30.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Hope y'all can join us, so. All right.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate both of you a lot. Agenda that I was looking at. I don't have to look up what was ready on here. Right, court consider a resolution authorizing county grant for the home delivered meal program. Same thing as,
It's the same thing as last year. We have to do every year. We just have to pass that resolution. And the resolution has a figure of 854.25 on it, and that's just based on the census of the senior population. 25 cents, which the county contributes way more than that, but that's the number that they give us. It's kind of the minimum, and they just tell us to put that number in there. The only difference is normally we put the county judge as the authorized official. This year, they're going completely online for the application, and so I had to set up an account, and then in order to set that up, whoever sets that up then has to be the authorized official to fill out the application, so, as long as that's okay with all of you, just have me with that.
Motion to approve the resolution, authorizing county grant for the home delivered meal program. I recognize.
all in favor? I'll have one of these for you. You need this resolution for 4.
Yes.
All right, court to discuss and consider purchase of software program from Pharmaceutical Assistance Program. All right, so this is a program that is used by the welfare department, and last year the rates went up a bit, and then this year the owner, Wanda Franklin, is retiring in a short amount of time. So she is looking to sell the program, the software, the licensing, and all that. I'm gonna let Bianca talk to the program a little bit. Let her gauge.
Good morning, Judge Hicks, Commissioners. My name is Bianca Grice, Department Head for Scurry County Welfare. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Wanda Franklin and Hoyt. This is Hoyt Franklin, Wanda Franklin's husband. He's been doing IT software managing updates for us these past years. We've been in collaboration with them. And it seems like we've been in collaboration with them for over 20 years. It seems like she's ready to retire, and I understand, I appreciate her hard work. It's a lot of work going in pharmaceuticals, the ever-changing drug prices, recalls, whatnot. It's a very time-consuming part of the job sector, and we appreciate you guys for it. But what I was concerned about this purchasing was the software maintenancing and the updates. So I feel like it is not necessary for us to purchase this software because of the updates. Like I said, of the continuous recalls, we're gonna need that updates consistently. So I feel like it would not be appropriate to buy it at this point because of the reasoning of the updates and having to configure all that. I don't know the details on all that, Hoyt, how the software would be purchased.
If I could speak, sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Hoyt. Appreciate you coming.
Judge, members of the council,
I will say that the Pharmaceutical Assistance Program has done a terrific job over the years to help those who were needing their medication and didn't have monies, didn't have insurance, to be able to get their medication. This program offered the opportunity for those who needed their medications to get it without a cost to them. That to me was unbelievable in the beginning. Wanda found out that there was ways that these pharmaceutical companies could provide this to those needy individuals. And there were certain things that had to be done. Over the course of the years that she's been in this, though, there's been constant changes going on. These constant changes have to do with the forms for each and every one of the pharmaceutical companies. Each company may have one or more medications, and oftentimes they have different forms for each one of those medications. And they change those forms. It could be in one line, it could be an entire form, but there are changes that come about. For someone like Bianca, we have made this software program and designed it so that she in turn can go into the computer and be able to find out real quick, like who manufactures the medication needed for the patient. And then from that, be able to determine which form is necessary from that company for that medication. All of this can be done, but it is time consuming. Not only that, but in order to fill in the questions on these forms, that's an additional step involved in doing the updates, if you will. But it makes it easy, once this is done, to be able to track for each patient their medications, how often, the frequency of it, when it's ordered and when it's received. Plus, provide a record, if you will, quarterly, at the end of the year, or weekly if necessary, in order to learn what medications this patient might be on. So all of this takes a little bit of time. For her to be able to do this now, it'd be a matter of pulling the form from the internet and then doing the steps necessary in order to fill in the questions on that form. Otherwise, she has to do it by hand. That also requires time. But by doing it by hand, you don't have a tracking, if you will, of the order. And it's very difficult. It might be where she just hands the form over to the patient and say, sign it, get your doctor to sign it, and then send it off in order to get your medication. So we'd like to help you out. If you want to further it, we're willing to not only train Bianca how to do this and the steps necessary, but to provide additional support if needed. Of course, we would charge for it on a monthly basis as Bianca would need that assistance. But we'd like to help you out.
Thank you. Bianca's concern was software updates.
Mhm.
Can you
Well, the
speak to
software
that?
updates is not going to be so much necessary as it will be for the individual order as it comes necessary. When someone comes in with a prescription, it's a matter of her pulling that, first of all, finding out who manufactures the medication, which she would be able to do on the software. Pulling that form up from that pharmaceutical company's website. And then from that, it's a matter of filling in the blanks on that form, in order to, keep track of it on the computer. But yeah, it would not be as intense, as it is with WFPC or pharmaceutical consultant, because we do the whole thing. She would only have to do it just for the individual work.
When pharmaceuticals change their forms,
Uh-huh.
does the software automatically
No,
realize that?
nothing is automatic. But if you could visualize, when she has a patient with prescription,
Mhm.
then she would go into the website for that pharmaceutical company. And then from that pharmaceutical company,
She'd get the latest form.
she'd be
then.
able to get that latest form and then put it on the software, which we would show her how to do that, in order to fill in the blanks on that form. If she didn't do it on the computer, she'd have to do it by hand in order to assist that patient. And that is very time consuming, I can promise you. If she only has one a day, okay, you've got plenty of time. But if she's got others in, waiting, to meet with her, she's got to move on. Well, with the computer, she doesn't have to do everything all at one time. She can do it after she finishes the visitation with that, patient.
And that is true. I believe whenever Luann enacted this program with him was in a time where technology wasn't as abundant as it is now. And so now the programs are available online. So I can go online, and we're getting into actual telemedicine nowadays where they're wanting the prescription sent by the doctor via telemed. So I believe a lot of the programs are updated online. So that is something we can do in our department, and we don't mind handwriting the forms. I have that extra assistance thanks to Commissioner's Court. We are able to maintain, I believe, without the program. Just because of the technology, like you said, this program made it easier and simpler to type in the med and bring up the program that the med, took care of. But now with the invention of GoodRx, I can go on and I can enter that med in, and it'll tell me what that med's used for, which helps me on my requirements. If it meets our guidelines in the county, which is a plus, I can find the pricing, which is a plus. And then on top of that, at the very bottom, if there's a prescription assistance program that's readily available, it'll tell me that. And then I'll just go and click on there, pull up the form, and then we'll go from there.
Is that what you've been doing?
I've been doing that lately, yes, ma'am.
Sounds like you mentioned, good idea.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Okay, thank y'all for staying with it for this long.
Appreciate it.
It's been a while.
So, and we discussed the other day when you came in that, if we decided not to, this is the end of the program for us.
That's
right?
right. Now, what we'll have to do is remove it from her computer and close it down.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any comments?
Well,
Yes.
we'd be helpful, so she can handle it without it.
Seems like it to me too. And she's right, technology's changing so much.
Yes.
Well, but-
It may, I'm sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
it may be an obsolete program in 2-3 years.
I'll make a motion.
Wanda's been saying that for years. Oh, and
Don't come back.
finally she said, I've had enough.
I'll make a motion, we not purchase the software from Pharmaceutical Systems.
And second, whatever he said.
All in favor? Thank you, Hoyt, for coming this way and explaining the program to us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And for the job that y'all done the
Yeah,
last
for the,
25 years. It's been a long time.
yeah,
Helped a lot of people.
Yes.
yes. Well, I hope Wanda can enjoy her retirement now.
Well, she's looking forward to it. We have a lot of grandkids.
Yeah.
She wants to write a book.
Oh,
Good.
great.
Okay, let's consider approval of line item transfers and budget amendments. Just a few here.
I don't have one.
Okay, we'll do the line on transfers first. First, we'll start with the county welfare. Into drug expense out of doctor medical fees due to increase in client load. Then precinct 2, utilities 2,000, maintenance repair 15,000, out of fuel and oil. More repairs to pick-up equipment than was anticipated. Then Hurley Water Works, these are to clear up some lines, in there for part-time 450, workers' comp 145.32, operating supplies 1494.89, training 175, mileage 71.67, fuel and oil 14.50. All of that out of the department headline 2351.38.
Yeah, that's sense.
Very much so. Airport, capital over 5,000, 6,600, out of resales 6,600, and this was to replace the old 18-year-old X Mark III wheel mower that they had. It was on its last days. And then EMS maintenance agreements, 8,100 out of dues and building ground supplies to cover the expense of the 2-year striker caught TM agreement. That's all the line on transfers. The budget amendments, I have 2 of those. One is the Parks Department, capital outlay 5,000 plus, it's 10,895.30. They had to replace an old AC unit that quit working. And then records management in spot, the district clerk purchased lateral files for records management. It was $2,700. So that actually comes out of a records management fund that we collect fees and fines for that can only be used for purchases of records management.
There we have it.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the line item transfers and budget amendments.
A second.
All in favor? All in favor? All right, accounts payable.
Bills this time is $1,142,381.93.
Have a motion to pay the bills.
All in favor? Okay. At this time, we will go into executive session. That's real property. Wade, do you have any questions?